What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chip, and I'm back at you from RVA Vapes. And today we got another review for you. This one is part of the Tony B project, and it comes from Kaees, and it's the Stacked RTA. Alright guys, today we got another rebuildable RTA from you, and this one comes from our friends at Kaees, and it is the Stacked RTA. I think you're going to like this one. So, fairly simple packaging. Got the tank, comes with two 810 drip tips, the regular glass and the bubble glass. And then open this guy up down here, and you can see all the goodies. You got a nice decent sized screwdriver, some extra springs, a 510 adapter, O-rings, and they actually give you some nice, looks like fuse Clapton coils in there, so that's a nice touch. But we're here to talk about the tank, so let's get into that. You may be asking yourself, springs? Why the hell is there springs in a rebuildable tank? Well, the reason for that is the deck design. So you can see it's got bottom airflow, nice wide bore drip tip, unscrews to fill, just like so. Nice big fill ports, but you can see the chimney's nice and wide too. But the deck of this thing is really what stands out to me. So let's take a look at that. Now, you can see from the top view, it's a single post style deck with two bottom airflow slots, but you've also got your 4 wicking channels on either side, and they're nice large wicking channels, which I really like. But the star of this guy is the deck itself, and if you look at it, it may look eerily similar to the lit RTA from our friends at Vandy Vape. And that's because it's basically the same style or design, where you've got one giant post and an insulator in the middle, so you unscrew these guys and it opens up, and you can just slide your coils right in there. Now that would lead me to think that you could also do a dual mesh build on this guy, which if you're into the mesh, that might not be a bad idea. But since they give you the 2 fuse Claptons with it, we're going to go ahead and say that the flat wires like your Aliens and your frame staples is really what they're going for. And that would explain the larger juice and airflow channels. You can see it's got that nice concaved chimney, which we really like. That definitely promotes flavor. But I'm astounded at how wide that chimney is. So that would lead me to believe that this guy's probably going to have some serious flavor and vapor production. Because you can see on the bottom airflow, those are pretty wide airflow channels. There's only 2 of them, but because they connect straight through, I think you're going to see a wonderful amount of vapor coming out of this guy. So with the standard glass that it comes with, seen here, you get 3 mils of juice capacity, but with the bubble you get 5. So not a terribly large tank, but not a tiny tank by any means either. So I guess the only thing left to do is throw a build on it and vape it. And we'll jump up top and talk about it. Alright guys, so now that you got an up close look at it, we're going to pull back and jump right into this thing. As we said, this is part of the Tony B project, so shout outs to you, my man, at the Vapor Trail. And we also want to give a shout out to everybody in the Carolinas. You know, we're based in Richmond, Virginia, and we were really worried about this hurricane. Luckily for us, it's staying a little bit further to the south, but we do want to make sure that everybody knows to keep the Carolinas in their thoughts. And if you want to do anything, contact the Red Cross to help out. We had a lot of friends in Houston when that storm came through, and we're hoping that the guys in the Carolinas fare better than they do. So from tip to tail, you're looking at 46 millimeters, and diameter width is going to be 24 across the base here. I think it's like 25 or 26 where this bubble is. Of course, you've got your 810 drip tip here, and they give you 2 options with that. I like this kind of clearish frosted looking one because it's got a little grippy to it going on there. You got your bottom airflow, and it does hold 5 mils with this bubble on it, or 3 mils with the straight glass. It's made out of 304 stainless steel. Not the thickest stainless steel I've ever seen, but all in all, I don't have any complaints about it. It functions properly. It just doesn't feel quite as substantial as I'd like it to. You got a sneak peek at the deck earlier. We're going to take this bad boy apart here, and I'm also going to throw a splash screen up for you because I've already got the build on here. That way you can kind of see a little bit more of what I'm talking about as far as the deck and everything goes. Take this guy apart like so. So you can see it's very similar to a lit RTA type of deck where you've got the two side posts that are spring loaded, and then you just kind of drop the coils in between those two there. And you can see it does have the insulators available, so it does insulate the coil pretty well. Did have a little bit of trouble when we were first building it up to get the resistance to stay put because it was kind of jumping all over the place. We did use the coils they provided. They look like fused nichrome Claptons, and I gotta say they're pretty nice coils all in all. The other thing that I want you to see is, there you go, you can kind of see right there that metal collar that goes around the base. The wicks actually go up inside there around that airflow channel, and getting that consistency right for how thick you want it in there took a little bit of playing with. One or two changes to it to really get it to do what it's supposed to do. So it's not super tricky. It's just one of those things that you kind of got to learn how it works. I'm sure the build and the wattage you're running it at do have a lot to do with that. So we found that kind of combing it out a little bit, not as much as I did on some of the past videos, but just a tiny bit, really gave it the fluffiness that it needed to fill that whole juice flow channel without giving any leaking. And surprisingly, I have to say, I haven't had any leaking issues with this guy, so that's a huge thumbs up. Based on the style of the RTA, where it's a little bit more old school as far as the airflow and the airflow channels, it was done very well, and we didn't have any wicking problems whatsoever. Let's just have a vape on it and see what we think. It's really nice, guys. You know, this company is, we've had a couple of products that we've tested of theirs before, and we weren't super impressed with them. But honestly, I have to say that we've really been enjoying this Stacked RTA. The deck makes it super easy to build on, and once we figured out the wicking, which didn't take very long, the performance and the flavor on this thing has been really, really nice. You know, we broke down, it's got a nice threaded top fill. The deck's super easy to build on. It holds 5 mils. It's only 24 millimeters wide. The flavor on it is substantial. You know, I think it's part because of the wide open chimney that they're using, but it's also got that domed kind of inside, which we know helps flavor a lot for us. But all in all, I have to call this thing a pretty nice sleeper. So the only thing that I would say, if I had to nitpick about it, is the construction material feels a little thin. It's not quite as substantial as I said before, but it just feels like it doesn't have a good quality feel to it. And with playing with filling it up and the threads on the bottom of the tank, we haven't had any problems with it, but it feels like it would be one of those type of tanks that works great for like 3 to 6 months, but after it's got a little bit of age to it, things aren't going to quite line up right. Things may cross thread. You might start getting some burrs or some leaking issues or something like that. You know, it's kind of nitpicky, but all in all, I have to say this tank gets very enthusiastic thumb up. The price point's fairly low, so that's a huge plus. And like I said, for pretty much any type of build you want, this deck is super, super easy to build on. The only concern I have is anytime you put springs that close to heat, they do tend to collapse. So we're going to wrap this video up. Make sure you check out shop.rvavapes.com to check out all the latest goodies that we've got. And we have added the online onlys portion of the website. So if you scroll down a little bit further, you can see a whole bunch of juices and stuff that we are shipping directly from our warehouse. We don't carry them in store, but just to allow you guys to have a little bit more selection and see what you guys want. So make sure you check those out. That being said, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you tune in every Saturday for new reviews. I'm back from vacation, so we're going to make sure we get this popped off right. And as always, if you want to smoke, that's your business. If you don't, you know where we're at.